For City Council District 4, we have Tim Burns and Roy Sims. Tim Burns, you have 30 seconds for your opening statement.
Thank you. I'd first of all like to thank BenitoLink and the Farm Bureau for hosting this important event. My name is Tim Burns, and I'm a candidate for the District 4 City Council position. I'm endorsed by the incumbent, Mr. Gomez. I'm also endorsed by the Hollister Police Officers Association and Firefighters Union. I live on Nez Perce, which is off of Clearview. I live across the street from a park. We've owned our house for 19 years. I have 2 adult sons, and I'd ask for you to vote for me if you think I'm worthy. Thank you.
Thank you. Roy Sims, you have 30 seconds for your opening statement.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me here tonight. I appreciate the Farm Bureau putting this on. There's no doubt that as we continue to grow, that we're going to need to collaborate and we're going to need to consolidate efforts. I'd like to echo what the mayor said this evening in regards to I've seen a collaboration really start to blossom here in our city, in our county, with education, in many regards. And I'd like to be the leader on that regard as well. So thank you.
Thank you. Question number 1. Why did you decide to run for office, and what qualifies you to be a city council member? Roy Sims, you have 90 seconds.
So I decided to run. I think everybody knows the political atmosphere in general across the nation has become somewhat of a joke in some regards. It's disheartening, and it's frankly something that needs to change. But I don't think it changes at a national level. I think that it changes at a local level. I think that it's your neighbors, it's your children, it's the people that live in your own community that grow together and create change. I don't see it in terms of such a high level. And so being a person of this community for many years, I went away, done many things, but came back to this community to raise children. And one of the things that I thought was, what is my children, what state of this community will be there when my kids are my age? Will they want to continue living here? Will they feel like this is a place that they can grow, that they can have children in? And I hope to see that. What qualifies me is my ability to collaborate and my ability to see things visually, and see things coming down the road. That's one of the biggest things that we continually Band-Aid things, and we need to have a master plan.
Thank you. Tim Burns, question 1, would you like me to repeat it?
No, I concede the board. Thank you. So what inspired me to run in all candor was the fact that the incumbent had chosen not to. I liked very much the path and the course that he was on, as well as the council overall. And what inspired me was when Councilmember Gomez got significantly involved in the park system. I live across the street from a park. We bought our home there 19 years or so ago. My kids were young at the time. My kids used the park on a daily basis. And I strongly believe that the park is the heart of the neighborhood and is where communities gather. And so I wanted to continue the vision of the incumbent. I will say that we don't agree on everything, but yet I still was able to gain his support. And so what really qualifies me for this is my life experience and my professional experience. I've done a lot of things. I work in community development. I've done that for at least 10 years. I have a public safety background in excess of 20 years. I've dealt with a lot of difficult things, and ultimately it just seemed like the timing was correct. I think you need to have somebody sit on the council that can work with others and also who understands it from the inside out, and I think I have a stronger understanding of how city government works. And so ultimately, I just think it was a timing thing in all candor.
Thank you. Question number 2, what is lacking in the city council, and what do you feel you will add? Tim Burns, 90 seconds.
Thanks. My frustration is timing. Oftentimes, it's no secret I'm very frustrated with the current council and the lack of a plan moving forward for the firefighters. before the SAFER grant elapsed. And so for me, it's about a vision, a long-term vision. I think overall the council works very well. However, I would say that most of them have been there for a significant part of their lives. And so one of the things I bring to it that I can add to it is a balance and perspective. I've worked for a number of cities, and I've had an inside view of things, and I've worked with some councils that have done really well and some that have been very challenged. And so I think my breadth of perspective will add to that. I've worked in environments in law enforcement during the Lexington fire and the Loma Prieta earthquake. I have that background. I just have a very well-rounded background and experience. I've been involved in public safety in my previous job, and so I was involved in hundreds of internal affairs investigations, so I understand that. I'm very comfortable telling you that we have a great police department, and I also think we have a great fire department, and so I can help to bring their perspective to the conversation as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Roy Sims, would you like me to repeat the question?
No, thank you. So in regards to what is lacking, I think overall it's not necessarily within the council. I think it's within our community. And when we look at our community, we're not necessarily a balanced community. We tend to be the bedroom of another community. And that's not a sustainable model. That's not going to necessarily get us to being the place where we want our children to continue. A lot of the growth are people that don't want to invest back into this community. They come here to work, they spend their money outside of the community, and then they leave after 20 years of work and retire in another community. And that's not sustainable. That's not the direction that I'd like to see, and that's not the direction that I believe anybody on the current council or anybody in this audience would like to see as well. In regards to some of the things that I have done to make sure that I can prepare and do this is that I see systems. I work in technology. I coordinate many data systems, many different types of file types, all the way from fiber optic to wireless systems. I connect things in a much bigger way than most could. And when you look at business and when you look at a community, connection is the most important aspect.
Thank you. Question 3. Because of the city's reliance on sales tax revenue, how can you increase and promote economic vitality in the city? Roy Sims, 90 seconds, please.
So the way we're going to be able to stimulate the economy is by having people within this economy invest back into it. We're not going to be able to sales tax everything and property tax everything. We're going to have to stimulate that by bringing in more companies, bringing in more jobs, bringing in more the ability to grow. Things that are preventing some of those things are transportation. Our transportation is grossly inadequate in terms of getting in and out of our community. We don't have a train system. We don't have anything that really allows us to be connected to the outside world. Our internet systems are decreased. So business is not going to look at this community as an investment because they don't have the ability to grow. Their profit margin is not there for them. So if we continue to bring those into, bring businesses, have people stay because our parks are amazing, or we have more shared use facilities like the equestrian trail and things that we would like to do but have not done yet. I think that ultimately the most important aspect is that we get things done and we have a smart and reasonable direction, and having a master plan that has, what if this isn't there in 10 years? What if this isn't there? How are we going to grow?
Thank you. Tim Burns, would you like me to repeat the question?
No, thanks. So I see it as a multi-pronged approach. I've been saying for some time now that I'm concerned about the branding of our city, or the rebranding. We really need to figure out what our identity is. I'm okay with the motorcycle rally as long as it will support itself. I don't believe that we should invest significant money to fund it. And so ultimately, I think we need to figure out who we are, identify ourselves, and then figure out a signature event. Gilroy has a garlic festival. I've met with people throughout the country and some from across the world, and you say Gilroy, they know. You say Hollister, they think of us as a clothing company, and we all know that's not true. And so we need to figure out what our signature event is. It's been clear to me with the marijuana conversation that we are a city of family and we care about our kids. So we need to figure out some sort of an event that will draw people from that perspective. I think we need to protect the assets we currently have. We want to keep those folks staying here. I think part of it will be affordable housing, and how do we do that? That's a very complicated process, but there are ways to get the affordable housing that we need gradually. And then when I worked for the city of Visalia, which is in Central California near Fresno, they were very successful in bringing factories and transportation companies there because of their central location in the state. We have that same opportunity. We're simply on the coast, but you can get to the north or the southern extremes or well into the east of us quite quickly, and certainly within a day. So I think it's multi-pronged, and we really have to look at it on a longer, broader scale.
Thank you. At this time, Tim Burns, you have a minute for your closing statement.
Thank you. Again, I'd ask that you evaluate our qualifications and vote for the most qualified. I think I'm the most experienced. I currently work for a resource management agency for the County of Monterey. I have building planning, public works, parks department, environmental services, and code compliance. I manage a code compliance division. I am fiscally responsible. In the time I've been there, my unit has generated 1,200% increase in cost recovery fees. It was projected we were going to see 30,000. We actually did 400,000. So I think I can bring that to the council, my vision. I have a $991,000 budget that I'm annually responsible for. I have that background, I have that experience, I have that commitment. I've walked the neighborhoods. I've been to at least 2,000 doors in District 4. I've heard the concerns expressed by the folks that I've spoken with. I've met with the city manager, I've met with the city council member, I've met with the planning commissioner, as well as the parks commissioner. I think we're focused as a unit. Thank you.
Thank you. Roy Sims, you have a minute for your closing statements.
Thank you. So, in terms of experience, there's no doubt that Tim Burns has a fair amount of experience, but here's something that you have to take into perspective. Experience is taking data and saying this data will then transfer over to this. Visalia is a much different community than this community. It sits on a major highway. We do not. So experience can often lead you in the wrong direction. It doesn't allow vision. It oftentimes puts you in a box of you believe certain things have to go in a certain direction. I think that my most important aspect is that I think outside of the box, and I look at things with very intimate way of dealing with things, and I take data that corresponds to exactly what we're trying to accomplish, not something that is outside of this community.
Thank you. Thank you for answering our questions.
Thank you.